Hello there, YouTube. We are back with some more match play commentary for y'all. I'm joined by the Brother Bear, the Highwayman himself, TJ.
Baka!
He's here.
That's all I got. It was nothing fancy. I'm sorry. I had an idea and then I was working on something on the side and I panicked, so it's fine.
We get there. But we are back with some matches that were filmed over at Dean's Dugout, which is the local card shop that we go to every Sunday for Digi. Pop off at about 12:30. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, want to check us out or check the shop out, they're in Naperville. Feel free to do so. We'd love to have you. But in today's matchup, we've got Jorel playing his oh-so-beloved Jesmon going up against Bill, who is playing Mastemon again for the first time in a little bit. You know, he's been sort of on the yellow vaccine train, and Bill's sort of one of those OG Mastemon guys, so I'm excited to see him bring it back, especially with some of the new pieces that we got in EX-06. So it should be a good matchup. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. A couple other things before we hop into the round itself. If you like the content, you like what you see, and you want to support us pretty boys on the channel, please do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. And check out our socials, which are linked down in the video description below. Includes our Instagram, Twitter, Discord, all that good stuff. The Discord in particular is probably where it's easiest to get all the deck lists of all the matches that you want to see. You know, all our players are in the Discord. Just either hit us up or hit one of them up, and we'll be sure to point you in the right direction. But enough jibber jabber. Let's hop right into the round over here. All right, so we got both players just setting up. Bill is rocking the purple build, which is honestly, in my opinion, probably the better and more consistent Mastemon list that I've seen so far. Yellow is definitely a high rolly deck. It can do a lot more like Unga Boonga, but I think purple is definitely much more consistent in setting up your trash, getting your pieces in, and whatnot.
Yeah, I would agree. I think yellow has the potential to kind of pop off, and then purple is just very good at like getting your, like you said, exactly what you said. I'm not gonna read it. There's no need to say it twice. We see Bill do some search, plays down a Gato. We'll grab a Lady Debbie off of that and put the rest of the bottom of the deck. Use the Mirai effect to go ahead and get a memory. However, because he does not have a card in his trash yet, he cannot Evo it.
It's such a weird way they set that up. You know, I think we've talked about this a couple times already too, where it's just like, it wouldn't hurt, you know, if they just let him say like from hand or trash. Like, I don't think it would change a whole lot for Masty. If
it just feels weird to like restrict it to being trash only. It doesn't really make sense like as to a why. It just feels like it's just an unnecessary restriction on a deck that already is having enough trouble as is, to try and be consistent and do its thing. Like, it doesn't need the work to be harder for it.
But we do see some good chip damage from Bill here. Gets drilled down to 3 security, then plays out a starter deck Gatomon to look for some pieces. I really do like this little guy. You know, lets you pick up both a yellow and a purple piece, which is always pretty goated.
Yep.
And he can suspend Mirai here and goes into the Angelmon that's in the trash for essentially free now, because we've got the reduction of Evo from Gato and then the Mirai memory. So pretty good. I see him just grab a Masty from security and recover 1.
Does the never mind. Answer my own question.
We get there.
My brain's not working right now, apparently. So we see Jorel go ahead and just play out the sister. Goes into a BT13 Jesmon. We'll go ahead and clear off the Angelmon so that there's no ace threat there. Goes into a Jess X. We'll be able to spit out a sister from hand or trash. Plays out the ST Blanc. We'll pitch a Magna X to draw 2. And then
so he's pretty much set up outside of a GX, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's looking for a GX, but no dice. He'll go ahead and just swing. I'm assuming into the Gato because he does have piercing now. He'll use the BT13 Savior Hawk effect to go ahead and spit out a BT6 CL, I believe that is. And then he'll just play for Master of the Disciple. Go ahead and pass turn there.
Not a bad turn.
Bill's unfortunately having to start from scratch now. Yeah, no, very good turn. Jorel is the master of making Jess work, to be honest. If there's, I don't think I'll ever see a more consistent Jesmon player out there.
Yeah.
I believe that. My heart and soul.
He knows the deck inside and out for sure.
Yeah.
And it's always scary seeing him push out from raising, and I'm like, oh god, It's
Yeah, 'cause
coming.
you know he has a game plan. You know he's pretty much ready to go. The only time
He's
that like
coming.
you really that like you sometimes don't have to worry about it is if he goes, well, I guess we just gotta see what happens, because then you know he's just like, well, I gotta just try and full send and pray I draw what I need out during the combo.
But he pretty much just swung for the fences there. Just used his sisters to just chip away at Bill's security, which honestly is not bad. And then played out a Searcher Hook to pick up some pieces and still manages to choke Bill to 1.
Yeah, the consistent one chokes have been really tough for Bill. Just has not been able to have like a turn with more than just a couple memory.
And that's another thing I feel like Masty struggles with too, is that, you know, with the old build, right, you were running at least the TKs that sometimes were able to, you know, let you at least start memory with 3. But here, since you have to sneak in that new Mirai, you're kind of like banking on your Digimon effects and the Mirai effects to make yourself a little bit more memory efficient. And if you can just choke them out, you just slow them down even more, which is super rough.
Yeah. Here we see.
Okay, so Gato comes in, does a little bit of search. Even here, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah. Looks like Bill is just kind of thinking like, I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah, I mean, he could Evo into the Lady Devi, you know, and pop, and then go ahead and pop a 4 or level 4 or lower since he's got a Mirai in play.
But I mean, if he pops the sister, it just comes back. Most likely.
He threatens an ace play, but even then, there's nothing really stopping Jorel from just going full out right here.
Yeah, it just goes. Just goes into BT 13. Jesmon clears the stack. Goes into a Just X. Plays out a CL, gains some memory from the inheritables and the CL itself. Goes GX. GX is going to tuck a Magna.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then now he's immune to all the effects. He'll go ahead and swing for the fences, and then that's it. Just chokes Bill again to 1. And it's like, oh yeah, like, what do you do?
What do you do here?
Bill, unfortunately, just every time he started to see some gas, Jorel just cleared his board. So it's tough. There's really not much you can do in that scenario.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that's why, and Bill just ends up scooping. So we'll move on to game 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely see why a lot of folks are running the Dominimon package as well, right? Because that does give your angels a little bit of protection against some stuff like this. But you do have to get into it in order for you to actually keep them on board, which is
it's the whole Pata engine. It's rough if you whiff on Pata. If you don't whiff on Pata, it's easy peasy.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do at all. So it just depends on, it's just how that whole vaccine engine works really with Pata.
Well, I mean, you can still sprinkle in Domini and purple base too, right? As long as you can just go above an Angelmon, it's not as great feeling.
I feel like I wouldn't do it. I feel like it's just like praying to be slower 90% of the time.
Yeah.
If their opponent has good board control. Because you kind of want to hyper it out that turn, but yeah, I mean you can. The other thing, the biggest thing there more than anything else was the fact that Jorel just kept choking Bill to 1. Bill just never had enough memory to really do anything with a turn. And he was constantly just having to pass over a bunch of memory because that's what Masty kind of does. Masty just passes over a lot of memory. It's so its Evo costs and play costs are so high. It has stuff to help it, but it demands so much memory that like the payoff is oftentimes just tough, and that's part of the reason why it struggles right now in this format, right? Where it's just like,
well, that too, and like back in BT8, you could live with some of that, like you could still live with passing your opponent up to 3-4 memory consistently. Yeah, now is if you give them even more than 3, you're asking for a whole lot of pain.
We are twice that number of sets now. We are.
That's true.
Which is crazy to think of. So Bill had a pretty similar turn 1 to game 1. We'll go ahead and just swing the Psych, but we'll live. But can't do the effect. Doesn't have Yellow Digimon in play. We'll just hard drop a Lady Debbie, unfortunately, which is tough. No way to clear that Savior Huck.
Turn 1 had to drop a Savior Huck, but he's back in business now. Never punished. Because now he can just go Jess X. He's got the sister, which allowed him to pitch 1 and draw 2. But now he's kind of considering what his options are. He's looking at that GX right there. Yep. And won't slide anything underneath, it seems. We'll just go ahead and swing for... he just chucks the GX.
It does yeet us the GX across the board. And Massey is finally getting to make an appearance.
Pretty wanted that
do with
too.
bang. Yep, the alt art's so good.
The alt art's so nice.
It's really, really nice.
That Psychmon's big guy living. Hits a boost and then hits a master to...
Although I think
disciple.
he's kind of sabotaging, to be honest. The stuff he's checking out the security right now is not great. Oh, man. And it is the security of Legends right now. Just, yeah, Jorel's just got so much trash set up now.
I can hear that Jorel laugh right now, too.
Yep.
Lady Devi swings, hits a Magna, so that one doesn't live. And then Bill just hard plays an Angelmon.
Yep.
Which is fair, honestly, at that point. It's just like, just force Jorel to say, like, hey, do something or else I win.
Yeah. Jorel will go ahead and scoop there, though, because he does not have a level 4. And he has no way of clearing that board, so.
Fair enough.
We go to game 3.
We love our game 3s.
Yes, sir.
So... You know, I mean, Jorel has definitely fine-tuned this. I know we have seen some Mad Lads take Jesmon to regionals and, like, do relatively decent here and there. I would be curious to see, because I know he's been kind of caught up in judging a whole lot. I would be very excited to see him take it to regionals and see how he does. If he ends up playing Gen Con, I would like to see how he does. I don't know. I mean,
well,
obviously...
I'm pretty sure he's judging Gen Con. Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah. I think Jorel is fully on the judge train now.
True.
Which is awesome to see. He's an amazing judge. His
rule
knowledge is crazy. But yeah, you know, it would be cool to see him play it if he ends up not being able to judge one of the regionals and then just decides to ball out but I think he wouldn't play it at a regional. He himself has said many times that he wouldn't do it because he just feels like he'll brick in the first 2 rounds and lose and then just be like, well. But that's not happening here as Jorel just climbs right up into a BT13 Jess. It will clear that Gato off board. Bill has no Mirai on board, which is tough. He's trying to figure out what to do here.
Gato. He can Evo into something, but even then, that is rough. I think your best bet here is to like Evo into one of the new EX-06 Angels, like either Angelmon or Lady Dev, and then hope you have all the pieces in hand to play out the Mirai and end of turn DNA, but we just go into a BT11 Angelmon, pick up a Lady Devimon, and choke Jorel to 1, but that Angelmon is very vulnerable right now.
Yeah, Jorel does not have any trash setup, so he's in a bit of a tight spot, to be honest. It's not great. Yeah. We'll go ahead and do Sister. Pitches a Blanc to go ahead and draw 2. Does not have a Magna X in hand, I don't think. No, he doesn't. So he's basically, he knows that if he swings, there's a Lady Devi in hand and most likely a Master Ace. Yeah. But he will go GX. Nothing to tuck. We'll just attempt to swing at an unsuspended. He'll use the effect to go ahead and play out the Blanc. No ace, unfortunately. So we'll just pierce through for 3 checks. And that is the balls to call a bluff.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you got to do.
And now he's just sitting that big GX on board. He's got 2 sisters and a little guy in the back. So threatening game next turn unless Bill can do something. We'll choose the Chaos
Degrade.
But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if it really does anything here.
I mean, it gives Jorel enough memory just to kind of go crazy with it. Well, hello, Magna. Does not have a level 4, but I mean, he just has enough bodies on board just to go just try and swing for game. Here. Yep, and no bombs, so that's it.
And Jorel ends up taking it with Jess.
Yep.
Oh my God, no level 4, Jesus.
Yeah, that's tough.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think definitely a good showcase of both decks. I mean, we saw Bill kind of pop off with a nice ace play, you know, in game 2 and was able to do some stuff. But
yeah,
like we said before, just kind of struggling from your typical Mastemon things, which is just consistency, tempo, and just lacking the speed to keep up with some of the bigger hitters. You know, and just when it hits, it hits big. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jesmon is it's an OTK deck, right? It swings for the fences, or at least, you know, it is close to OTK as it can.
Yeah, yeah. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we appreciate all the support. And hopefully we catch you on that next video. Bye bye.